I pulled a chair over and sat across from him. Jockey, we're still best friends, right? What kind of question is that? We've always been best friends. Good. Then listen, Jockey, you're in deep trouble. Serious trouble. Come with me to Shanghai tonight. I know some top-notch doctors who help with mental problems. Before I could finish, he shouted, "Stop it. I don't need any doctors for mental problems. I'm not sick. I'm perfectly fine. I'm telling you, I'm normal." He insisted he was normal, but I was certain he wasn't. I shook my head. Jockey, refusing to accept it won't help you, he yelled loudly, "I'm not sick." I matched his loud voice. Fine. You're not sick. Then tell me, why did you grab a knife and hurt people? He turned away, hiding his face, but I could hear him breathing heavily. After a long pause, he said, "Slary, I'm tired. I need to sleep." He was telling me to leave. It made me both angry and sad. Fine, rest tonight. But tomorrow, I'm taking you to Shanghai, whether you like it or not. I left his study angrily, slamming the door behind me. The moment I stepped out, several servants whispered, "How's the young master?" I made a sign for them to be quiet, then walked quietly to the window to peek inside. Jockey sat motionless, like a statue. After what felt like ages, my back aching from crouching, I saw him stand. His movements seemed normal. He put a fallen sample shelf back upright and began picking up scattered items, putting them back carefully. I kept watching. After cleaning up what he could, he sat at his desk, hands supporting his head, for a moment. Then he looked up, his face full of anger. He hit his hand on the desk with a loud sound, pulled a crumpled piece of paper from his pocket, looked at it, and threw it into the corner. He walked toward the door and opened it. I quickly ducked aside, out of his sight. He took a few steps out, and the servants stood politely, hands clasped. "Young master," the old madam instructed. Jockey quickly said, "Leave me alone. I'll go wherever I want." The servants quickly replied, "Yes, yes." Ignoring them, Jockey walked off. I signaled to the servants, and they rushed over. I said firmly, "Tell everyone it's my order. No matter where he goes, don't stop him." They looked worried, but I hit my foot on the ground. "Do as I say, understand?" They nodded unwillingly. "Yes, yes." I quickly went back into the study, picked up the crumpled paper from the corner, and opened it. It was a plain piece of newspaper with a few words written quickly with a pencil, so messy I had to look closely to read them. "We are here." Below that, in smaller writing, was Royal Pacific Hotel, room 2007. Below the text was a strange symbol, like a stiff spider, giving off a strange and scary feeling. I folded the paper and headed out. A servant came closer. "The young master just drove off again." I paused, then asked, "Does anyone know where the Royal Pacific Hotel is?" A driver gave me a strange look. "Young master way, it's by the train station. A dirty, cheap place, for bad people. I'm pretty sure your young master is headed there," I said. "Get the carriage ready. We're going now." The driver hesitated. "Should we tell the old madam?" I shook my head. "No need. The old madam has put me in charge of Jockey, the driver, and I hurried out. I climbed into the carriage, and he drove us away from the mansion. It was late. The streets were silent, with hardly anyone around. The sound of horse hooves on the pavement echoed coldly, emptily. As we got closer to our destination, sleet began to fall, the air very cold. I kept leaning out, hoping to see Jockey on the road, but the empty streets showed nothing. When we reached the Royal Pacific Hotel, I knew Jockey was there. His car was parked out front. The driver was right. This was a dirty, cheap hotel, and Jockey's car looked very wrong there at its entrance. The hotel's doorway was dirty, the inside old and damp smelling, covered in dark shadows. A dim light bulb shone weakly. I stepped inside, and the clerk behind the counter gave me a quick, uninterested look. I looked at the wall behind him, where small bamboo tags hung. Under room 2007, the tag read Mr. Tao, with Jockey's car outside and the note mentioning Royal Pacific Hotel, room 2007. He had to be meeting this Mr. Tao. I approached the clerk. "Is Mr. Tao in room 2007 here?" "He's in," the clerk replied, barely moving. "Another guy just went up to see him. I nodded and headed for the stairs. At the landing, a thin hand quickly came out from the darkness, grabbing my sleeve. I jumped, startled, and turned to see a woman who looked like a ghost beside me. She wasn't old, and not ugly, but her face was very pale and thin. She forced a smile, staring at me. "Sir, you," she clutched my sleeve, unable to finish, but I understood. She was a prostitute who really needed money, hoping I'd be her only customer in this freezing weather. I sighed, gently patting the back of her hand. "No, I'm here to find someone. Important business." She held on, begging. "Sir, I can." I stopped her, pulling out some money and putting it into her hand. "Take this. I'm busy tonight." She stared at the money, confused, as I pulled myself free and continued up the stairs. My steps made noises on the wooden stairs. As I got closer to the 3rd floor, I slowed down. The hotel rooms were divided by thin wooden boards, most with gaps between them. As I reached the 3rd floor, I heard Jockey's voice, angry and loud. "You can't do this. How could you?" Then came an older, rough voice, saying something I couldn't understand. I froze. The words were impossible to understand, yet they reminded me of the strange language spoken by the old man and young man met on the train. I hurried to room 2007 and looked through a gap in the boards. There was Jockey and 2 others. They were the same old man and young man from the train, the ones I'd had a small argument with. Even back then, they had seemed strange and scary to me. Now, in the dim light of this old hotel room, their presence was very evil. The old man was still talking, moving his hands a lot, his expression intense. Jockey clearly understood what the old man was saying. His face showed great fear, yet he remained refusing to give up, repeating, "No way, I don't believe you. You can't do this." The old man suddenly became silent. The younger one spoke up. "Mr. Yi, we know you won't go back, so we came to convince you. You have to go back. Otherwise, you'll never escape the trap my sister set for you and no one can save you." Jockey hit the table hard with his hand with a loud sound, making the cups with tea stains on them jump. He shouted, "You don't scare me. I don't believe you. I won't die. I'll live, and I'll live well." The young man shook his head, a little sadness in his eyes. "Mr. Yi, you can't live. You're going to die, and it'll be on the exact day my sister predicted. You're already feeling unwell, aren't you? Why won't you believe us?" Jockey's face turned very pale, but he still shouted loudly, "I don't believe you. Your tricks don't scare me. Tomorrow, I'm going to Shanghai to see a doctor." The young man kept shaking his head. "It's no use, Mr. Yi. Those doctors with their doctor's tools, they're useless. Only my sister has the answer." Listening from outside, my shock was beyond words, and my anger was very strong. These 2, old and young, were threatening Jockey with death, and his strange actions it seemed to come from their constant frightening. This was shocking and unacceptable. Who did they think they were, bullying my best friend like this? Did they think they could decide his future? Were they people sent by death itself? I pushed the door with all my strength. It didn't swing open. Instead, my force was so great that the entire door fell down with a loud noise. I stepped inside. My sudden entrance surprised the 3 of them. A hotel clerk rushed over, panicked, shouting, "What's going on? What's going on?" I waved him off. "Go away. This doesn't concern you. If we end up fighting and break anything, put it on my bill." The clerk looked at me, then looked into the room. His eyes landed on Jockey. As a famous young master in Suzhou, Jockey was instantly recognizable. The clerk bowed and nodded. "Oh, it's young Master Yi. No problem then." He backed off, and Jockey hit his foot on the ground. Why are you here?" His tone suggested I was interfering, but I ignored him and turned to the old man and the young man. "Who are you 2 with? Whatever is happening, you deal with me." As I spoke, I made a series of quick hand gestures. These were secret signs used by gang members to show you belong to them. Since I had trained in Chinese martial arts since childhood, I knew about the criminal world. I thought their strange, unclear talk was some kind of secret code. But when I challenged them, they just stared, with wide eyes, as if they didn't understand anything. I made a short, loud sound. "Not showing me respect, huh? Fine. How do you want to solve this? Speak." The old man and young man stayed silent, but Jockey interrupted, "Slary, you've got it all wrong." "Completely wrong," I quickly replied. "Aren't these two threatening you?" "You could say that," he answered, "but it's not what you think. Come on, let's go. We'll drive to Shanghai tonight, and I'll tell you everything." I looked at him, unsure. The young man called out, "Mr. Yi, you're running out of time. If you don't come with us within 3 days, it will be too late." Jockey made a mocking sound. "I'm not going anywhere with you, and I'm definitely not dying. Stop talking nonsense." The young man turned to the old man, muttering something, probably translating Jockey's words. The old man sighed, his face showing deep sadness.